Looking for a budget-friendly direct drive sim racing wheel that's PC compatible and offers 50 Nm of torque output? Well, the CAMMUS DDWB might be the solution you're looking for. Priced at $499 excluding shipping and taxes, it's likely still unmatched in terms of performance in its price range. Of course, the affordability of the CAMMUS Wheelbase begs the question, is there a catch? Before we get started, the usual hardware review unit disclaimer: the DDWB and GT1 Wheel were provided to me by CAMMUS free of charge for the purpose of review. That being said, my opinions and impressions are solely mine and from the perspective of a fellow sim racer just like you. The CAMMUS DDWB is currently PC compatible only, with no signs of console support on the horizon. Inside the nicely packed box is the hefty 11.5 kg wheelbase, a substantial power supply, a USB A to B cable, the quick release system, and the necessary hardware like bolts and washers. No paper instructions are included, and this might be a problem for some, but in today's digital age, I'm entirely okay with scanning a QR code or downloading a PDF guide online. The mounting process was challenging due to the wheelbase's size and awkward shape. Despite receiving this unit a while back, the struggle to find a way to attach it to my ASR Pro rig without drilling holes in my standard wheel deck did delay this review. This isn't a step customers should have to take when investing in sim racing hardware. Thankfully, my contact at CAMMUS suggested sending me their adapters, which should aid in adjusting the mounting positions. These adapters can be purchased separately for $29, enabling compatibility with Fanatic brackets and mounting plates, or an adjustable base plate is available for $49. After waiting a few weeks for the adapters, I was relieved to find they worked and allowed me to attach the wheelbase to my ASR wheel deck. It's vital to mention that the DDWB provides two mounting options, from the bottom like I did, or from the side using the provided channels, where you can insert a T-nut. I would have preferred a side mount option, but it wasn't compatible with my ASR Pro's adjustable steering wheel deck. Therefore, conduct your research to ensure compatibility with your chosen rig if you plan to pick up one of these wheelbases. Ultimately, the wheel's final placement on my rig didn't entirely satisfy me, but this is partly due to my rig's existing setup for my daily driver, the SimiCube 2 Pro. I didn't want to make too many significant changes to my setup solely for this review, so this isn't a shortcoming of the ASR Pro or CAMMUS's fault, but the base size does make it somewhat awkward to position it ideally for myself, but your mileage may vary. The $499 price tag is undoubtedly attractive, however it's equally important to account for the cost of the compatible steering wheel. Thankfully, CAMMUS offers the Formula style wheel or a more traditional GT style wheel showcased here. A bundle including the wheelbase and either of these wheels still presents an excellent value priced at just $659. Early reviews of this wheelbase mentioned a somewhat cumbersome and confusing purchasing process. However, this has since been rectified, as CAMMUS's official website now facilitates product orders with a straightforward navigation and checkout process. Shipping the setup to North America costs around $200 in Canada or $150 in the US, excluding potential local taxes or duties. The total cost of purchasing and shipping this unit to my house in Canada is about $860, excluding taxes and local duties. To ensure a comprehensive evaluation, looking at the total expense and factoring in shipping costs rather than focusing solely on the base price is crucial. For instance, I could get the new Moza Racing R12 wheelbase and the simple ES steering wheel delivered here in Canada for $843 US, albeit with a lower peak torque output. Meanwhile, a Fanatic DD Pro bundle with just 8 Nm pedals included would set me back about $980. So it's essential to analyze every detail when comparing products, but no matter how I sliced it, the CAMMUS seems less expensive when matched against wheels with similar specs from other brands, based on the review conducted at this point. However, price is just one aspect of quality sim racing hardware, so stick around as we delve a bit deeper. As I previously stated, this wheelbase is rather hefty and what can only be described as a barn-like or dome-shaped aluminum outer shell. Given its weight, you'll need a sturdy rig for mounting, and currently there isn't a desk mount option available. Due to its weight and size, I don't believe a desk setup would be suitable for this space anyway. Design preferences can be very subjective. Some may argue that aesthetics don't even matter in sim racing, but I personally care about how my sim rig looks. This design, which I find a bit outdated or unpolished, doesn't appeal much to me personally. Also, its sheer size makes it stand out quite a bit on my rig. Some might find a better mounting spot just below or behind their monitor, making it less visible. However, even one of its touted features, the buttons on the wheelbase, seems more like an afterthought than an integral part of the design. They're actually not very useful to use while driving as they're positioned behind the wheel, making them difficult to see as well as press. I would have preferred if these were removed, potentially offering maybe a small cost savings and making this unit even more affordable. But I acknowledge that others might see this as a highlight even if they don't work for me. At the rear of the wheelbase is an active cooling fan and all the necessary ports for device connection, including a QR code that lets you pair the wheelbase with your smartphone. The quick release hub is a significant feature, allowing you to use different third-party wheels. Now, in terms of the wheelbase design, I think some refinement and even size reduction would be welcome. In terms of looks, I would prefer a Moza R16 or even a Fanatec CSL DD over this any day. The GT1 steering wheel features a traditional round 320mm rim, nicely covered in what seems to be faux leather. While it's a quality material, the added detail of red stitching is a nice touch. I personally prefer a smaller rim, but many find this size comfortable and agreeable. The wheel plate design is commendable, featuring metal and some plates with a carbon fiber look. However, paddles and buttons are paramount in a good wheel for me, and this is where the wheel does fall short. The wheel includes 4 buttons, 2 rotary controls, 1 momentary 3-way switch, and 1 standard 3-way switch. These are some of the least satisfying buttons and rotary encoders I've encountered on a sim racing product. The controls feel very toy-like and lack a tactile response. I would have preferred them to be all black with the option to add stickers. The rotary encoders lack a defined feeling when making adjustments, making it easy to make unintentional adjustments. The wheel also lacks any kind of navigation or funky switch, which would have been a great addition instead of the momentary switches. These switches are not particularly good, and I find them relatively small, and I'm not sure where best to use them in sim racing on the wheel. I would have appreciated a better implementation here. Unfortunately, the shifter paddles are even worse. They are flimsy and not fun to use and have a very unsatisfactory sound. While usable, they lack a satisfying engagement and detract from the driving experience. I've had much better experiences with Fanatec and Moza wheels. I would suggest considering maybe a third-party wheel for an improved experience here. CAMMUS has incorporated a quick release system, and it operates differently from most of its competitors. Attaching the wheel to the base is pretty straightforward, and removing it does require 2 hands. The same goes for reattaching it. The wheel needs a bit of alignment before it securely clamps into place. Once it's secure, however, it feels extremely solid with minimal to zero flex. One advantage of this wheel is that it connects to the base using standard automotive setup, which allows for the potential use of aftermarket wheel rims. Before hitting the virtual track, the PC software could be more polished, but it is relatively straightforward to install and use. There's also a companion mobile app for adjusting settings on the go, which is a fantastic feature but could also use a bit of refinement. Still, I appreciate the convenience of using my phone as it makes in-game adjustments easier without needing to minimize the current sim that I'm in. Finally, it's time to put the CAMMUS direct drive wheelbase to the test. There's no doubt that the 50 Nm of torque it offers is very substantial. Starting with Assetto Corsa, I noticed that while the general resistance down the straights felt compelling and enjoyable, there was a slight lack of detail during cornering and a general absence of road surface and curb feeling. The best way to describe it is just dull. Contrary to expectations, the experience sometimes felt more akin to a traditional non-direct drive device when hitting the curbs. The fidelity just seemed lacking, but reducing the overall force output did improve the situation a bit. Now in iRacing, the sensation of the road surface texture was better, but there was a noticeable lack of detail during small steering inputs. For instance, trail braking with minimal steering angle offered little resistance, making it feel uncertain at times. Furthermore, the force feedback increased disproportionately as the steering angle increased, which felt a bit unnatural. Now, regardless of the sim used, whether it be Assetto Corsa, ACC, R-Factor 2, or Automobilista 2, the level of detail just drops off once you encounter high cornering loads. Consequently, you're left with the weighty 50 Nm, but the overall feeling is just vague. This combination of high power and limited detail means that reacting to slides relies more on visual cues than physical feedback. Be aware that catching slides may be more challenging with the DDWB than with some of the other competitors. Overall, I just felt disconnected from the car in most of the sims that I tested. The CAMMUS Direct Drive Wheelbase represents a sturdy wheelbase offered at a very competitive price. It provides raw power, and if high torque is your primary consideration for value, then this wheelbase might be worth considering. It also boasts some unique features such as buttons on the base and the versatility of a universal steering wheel mount. However, some crucial drawbacks prevent this wheel from becoming a game changer. High delivery costs to certain regions push the product beyond its ideal price point. Also, a lack of refinement in feedback and software detracts from the overall experience. While the wheelbase is close to being a great package, it definitely has some catching up to do. The product could become a solid option if CAMMUS can enhance the motor, software, and wheel, but until then, it remains a limited choice for those potentially in specific regions looking to upgrade from a belt or gear-driven wheel. But for customers worldwide, it becomes harder to justify the purchase when considering all the other options available in the market. Ideally, I would love to see more powerful direct drive wheels offered at affordable prices for sim racers, ultimately bringing more people into this fantastic hobby. CAMMUS may have started paving the way, but I'm not sure if they can compete in a growing and competitive market. If you are interested in picking up this wheelbase or any other CAMMUS product, consider using my affiliate link below, which gets you 5% off your order. In return, I receive a small commission that helps support the channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed or found this review useful in any way, and if you did, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up, as it does help recommend my content to like-minded viewers. If you're not subscribed to the channel, now would be a great time to press the subscribe button, and I appreciate the support. Until the next one, stay safe and enjoy your racing.